Right. Welcome team. Hope everybody's well. It's Tuesday, it's 8:03. So we're going to look into the London session. And we're going to have a look. Now, let's obviously paint the picture beforehand here. Yeah. All right. So we're going to paint the picture beforehand in regards to what is happening. All right. So there's a few things happening. We've now had three full nights of obviously no escalation. I think there was a few drone attacks from Iran against Saudi, but obviously, Strait of Hormuz traffic is ticking over. It's coming through, but it's just coming through a little bit slowly. So, hence why the price of oil is, starting to tumble. We're back down to this 80. Word coming out of the US. I know, although it's all been done through diplomats at the moment, it's pretty positive. They've almost got an unconfirmed, mini ceasefire happening here. But obviously there could be, any kind of escalation at or de-escalation at any time because no one big has, spoken about it properly yet. So looking at the markets and obviously, yields starting to come down. And we've obviously got oil, naturally was back up at 93. It's now back down at 80, So 80's, still obviously high, but, we want it to breach through that 80 level really for, proper obviously de-escalation. I mean, what have we had? Like three ceasefire agreements which haven't lasted long. So hopefully this one's going to last a little bit longer. Um, but obviously on the flip side, right, what's making it tricky here? We've already seen how good June's data was. All right. This obviously this escalation in July, which we obviously haven't had any data through yet. Obviously, increased oil prices causes inflation. Now, what do we have tomorrow? All right. Tomorrow is, the interest rate decision. Now, if war had have escalated, there was a 38% chance, or still is, it was higher. It's come down to 38% chance that they're going to raise interest rates to counteract the, the kind of inflation crisis that the world's in because of the price of oil. Now, obviously, there's media pressure. I think Trump tweeted yesterday how the US need to reduce interest rates, blah blah blah, but they can't. But obviously. Kevin Walsh, what he can do, I'm expecting it to come out, 3.75%. Everybody is, but it's his speech afterwards, all right? It's his press conference. It's, you know, how aggressive is he gonna be? Is he gonna come out and say, right, if this war was going away, I would have interest rates down to 3.5%, working down to 3.25% before the end of this year. That's then aggressive. That's gonna obviously initially boost the dollar, but then it's also gonna, take a bit off of it because obviously the big money is gonna pull out and put their money in somewhere else with a slightly higher interest rate. However, the US are standing very, very strong because the price of oil is high. Oil is priced in dollars. So it's tricky. Yeah, it's a really, really tricky kind of, morning here. So that's kind of a valuation, and it's not pros or cons about anything. It just is. I was adamant we were coming down here, hitting this 101. However, markets had different ideas yesterday. Luckily, we had gold come out in a bit of profit on that one. Euro come out at break even, and then pound, hit a stop loss. And then obviously we had a few good. We had a late flurry of lower time frame gold trades yesterday. So that was obviously a pro too. So we've got obviously all of these things happening here. Let's obviously have a look how Asia acted. Asia, again, on the dollar, isn't telling us anything. All right, it's tried pushing up, it can't. It's tried pushing down, it can't. All right, if we look at Aussie, Asia, big dump to the dollar end. Pound that doesn't really tell us anything. We've got Euro tried pushing up, couldn't, tried pushing down, couldn't, so it's really tricky here. Gold had a big dump off. I would class that as relatively big if we looked at Asia yesterday and then looked how it acted. Asia did 600 pip move. Today we've had we had about a 480 pip, move in Asia. Obviously with the big move yesterday, what happened? London and New York traded within each other. So I've marked out this area of interest for gold. I'm actually expecting it to trade within here. We obviously want to be marking up the Asian, low here, and we want to. I don't think we're going to tap that Asian high, but I could be wrong. So it'll be interesting to, see what happens here. But 100% this lower or this upper, if it's tested, should hold. And should hold pretty well based on probabilities of things happening previously. So of interest, what's that there? Yeah, Asia, small London. Yeah. So so then we're obviously moving on to yields here. It's started to tumble because of this kind of the increase in interest rate kind of rumors have dropped down to 38%. So naturally, some of the big money's starting to come out. All right, because they don't want it now. They're now interim wise, they're either going to keep it in cash, which is going to boost the dollar, or they might put a little bit into gold just to kind of, see. But, we can see clearly no money is cleanly thrown into going into the, stock market early. And so, stocks are down, break even overall. We've got gold down, we've got dollar probably about break even. We've got yields down 0.5%. So it's a really tricky afternoon. And or sorry, afternoon, morning. And so what I'm kind of looking at here is right, where do I think dollar could trade in? We've already identified that, we've had bit more of a kind of no idea where it's going here in regards to in regards to the Asian trading session, but obviously we've got to pick one way or the other. I actually personally think that dollar is going to trade somewhere within this kind of a range here today. Probably this. I'll be surprised if we break out. Maybe potentially could pull this a little bit lower, but I'll be surprised if we go much more. So with that, with yields dropping slightly, with oil dropping slightly, I'm going to go against the dollar. Um, I think this gives us a lot more kind of leeway. If gold pumps, that's going to take Aussie with it. Aussie is pretty strong, so I am quite interested to see how it reacts this morning, So, if we're looking here, we've also got Asian high, Asian low here. We've breached Asian low. We're obviously, I want to mark up this Asian high, but I don't think we're going to tap into it. It's one of those where I'm going to place everything this morning where I want it to hit kind of worst case. So if we were to put, say, 20 pips here, so we're going to put somewhere like this. I'm just going to move this one down here, something like that. There we go. Oh, don't want to do that. So let's now have a look here. So 75, 75. That potentially, do we drop it down? If we drop it down to 50, I'm going to drop it to 50 because I just want to play a little bit safer. All right, so that's the kind of area that I'm looking at here to buy into, and that's going to give us a pretty nice, comfortable 40 pip stop if we can obviously to target this Asian high. I'm not trying to do anything crazy here. I'm just trying to make sure that obviously we are playing it safe, but obviously making sure that we're not going to get caught here. All right, you could. This morning's one of those mornings where you could take it either way. All right, and it's not it's just is. Look how that's worked out. That's perfect. Right. So we're gonna go somewhere like this. Green. TP1. We're gonna keep it quite tight today. I'm actually maybe raise it a little bit. So I'm gonna do this on the 2 hour because otherwise it's gonna send me all over the place. So there you go. There we go. So that's what I'm kind of looking at this morning. Um, what I'm kind of looking at on Aussie here. Right, so TP1, I actually quite like that. I just want it to die in and hit this one more time. Like I'd said, I'd rather us this morning, I'd rather us, miss out on a trade than not, So yeah, right. AUD USD buy a trade idea. Right. That's AUD USD. GBP USD here. Let's have a look at this. Let's just skip through this because I'm let's just have a look because we're always wanting to pick our kind of top three here. All right. And obviously everyone's gonna want gold. So I think we'll do euro and gold. All right, because I don't like the nice trend here. I much prefer euro because it's plateaued here. It's a lot lower, and we should see this nice push to the upside here. So if we go on the 8 hour, I mean, I actually think yes, we should breach this, but let's just mark up the Asian low here, and let's just mark up potentially this. Like I'd said, I want to be erring on the side of caution here, right? I don't want to be, trying to play everything a bit too, safe. So let's just have a look at this. Let's do 70 and 70. There we go. All right, something like this, we're completely covering Asia. And then I'm going to do what we've been doing on the others. We'll have a 20 pip stop and a 40 pip TP. Let's just have a look where that takes us. Yeah, that is comfortable. Comfortable, comfortable. Even if we're going with potential new trend here, we should come up to come back down again. So I'm going to air it on that, that safer side of caution here. So let me just move this over a little bit. There we go. Right, here we go. So that is what I'm kind of looking at here. Right, let's clone these. One, two, three, four, five. Right, we have got two latecomers. There we go. Right, let you in. So right, here we go. That's our TP2. Let's just do our stops and we'll start down the bottom and then we'll work our way up again. Yellow, yellow, and yellow. There we go. Right. I'm gonna air every single TP1. I'm gonna air on the side of caution. All right, so we've got our stop, entry one, entry two, entry three, TP1, TP2. We're like I'd said, remember the style of trading we're doing here. It's intraday, so we do have to appreciate that. It's Euro USD by trade idea, right? And you could go either way. All right, that's how crazy it is. We could be, putting our box here and obviously looking to sell it. It's one of those days. All right, there is no clean structure. Okay, that's number two. I mean, I do like USDJPY, but I think everyone likes trading gold, so we'll obviously put a gold trade in. So 8 hour, we've got our Asia low, Asia high. Daily wise, it was a very, very indecisive day yesterday. Could actually pull back up. We've had quite a big Asia, so I'm gonna hold my trail of thought here. I want Asia in the middle, really, of our entry, if I'm honest. I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna put this in here. Stops need to be below here. That's perfect. So if we do 1650, and if we do, why is my maths so bad? 300. Oh God, Dan. Right, it's early. I'm only halfway through my first coffee, so right. Yeah, we got this good. Right, let's do this now. One, two, three, four, five. Now, with these trades here, I'm not clean on either direction, if I'm honest. Right, I'm really, not. It's quite a tricky day today in regards to, macros and in regards to, yeah, just everything. But I do think a bit of a breather is due. So right, let's go. I'm gonna again have quite a tight TP1. I'm gonna go on the bottom of this. You can see his wick here. You can see this rejection here. So we've got stop loss, entry one, entry two, entry three, and then we've got obviously TP1, TP2. So that's what we're kind of looking at here. Um, but obviously, again, we're erring on the side of caution here. I just noted. Oh God, I've got to do it again. No, I'm just going to check my phone because I think the first gold trade that we did has hit TP1. So that's good. Let me just check this. Hold on, it's loading. Not a bad start. Not a bad start to the morning. Pretty happy. Not quite. Not quite. 52. Yeah, it has 52.10 was our TP. So pretty happy there. Just going to save those and then we will start. I might even leave these ones running, to be honest. Right. So that's what I am looking at here. So I think I've put those in. All of them are in. But remember, we're going on. Yields dropping, oils dropping, but obviously we're going on, money's not flowing into stocks either, so it must be flowing into, or not into, but a little bit must be flowing into equities there. Right. So let's go through some of these. Greg, wow, looks hard today. DXY looks strong. Yields weak. Stocks weak. All down. Yeah, it is hard. Alex, can't see dollar rise from that level any higher without escalation. What do you think? Yep, I agree. I think, but it's the expectation of Wednesday, tomorrow. So everyone's trying to guess. Hi, Dan. Admin, with oil, Bitcoin, and gold going down, where the money flow in then? So ignore Bitcoin. All right. Bitcoin's out of there. Majority of Bitcoin is holders, so don't kind of stress about Bitcoin. Just look at the kind of, even, and this is why I don't trade Asia. All right. There's a reason. Use it. All right. Yes, we obviously know with gold, it has one big trading, session every day. All right. Yesterday, Asia moved massively. London, smaller. New York, even smaller. And, like 9 times out of 10, I've just obviously made that stat up. But obviously, gold will close, sorry, New York will close within London. Yeah. All right, but you can see here, Asian low had no chance of being tapped. All right, so just make note. We've got very similar situation here. Yeah, where what happened yesterday. It tried to breach the top, it couldn't. So it's tried to breach the Asian low here couldn't should push up. I don't think we are not going to engulf this. We might do tomorrow, but obviously it's having that act here. Oil, yes, de-escalation, 3 nights with obviously no bombings. That's going to bring oil down, and in turn, it's going to bring yields down too because the risk of higher inflation is smaller. So yeah. Dan, any from Matt, Dan, any update on the macro tool? So yes, so I have got a professional software developer. Um, so um, I've got uh, he's going to put it all properly so that no one can ever hack it. So it's probably going to take us a good month. So I'm expecting by the end of August to have that all back up and running. And yeah, I'm sorry, I haven't even I'm about halfway through doing the PDF for the daily ranges. So I will get that done as well. So yeah, does anyone have any more questions? Any more for any more? And obviously, I'm happy to go through it. Otherwise, have a great day. Um, Tuesday, let's smash it, and let's make sure that it's a it's a uh, yeah, strong day. Like I'd said, intraday, I'd rather be out than in, because it's a real tricky day, So you either want when it's a bit confusing, if you're, if you want to, sell, put your entries higher. If you want to buy, put your entries, lower. All right, because we obviously want to maximize there's ways that obviously we can trade and place trades to minimize losses. It was a bit like yesterday. All right, market went completely against us yesterday. Yeah, but we got out of gold in a bit of profit. We got out of euro, in a tiny bit of profit too. Yes, we got stopped out, but if we'd have gone ultra aggressive and not really thought about it, not really understood, we would have been stopped out on gold, euro, and pound. So just there are half the time you don't have to get it right. Direction. It's just placement. Yeah. And so, yeah, right. Have a great Tuesday. I'll keep you guys updated. And yeah, let's make sure today is a green day. So have a good one, guys.